Hey everyone, Orthotic Chips here, Chiappetta Shoes. This is a workshop live. It's a beautiful sunny day in June. We have a lovely A2 foot type, custom orthotic. Been wearing it for I think about a year or so now. It's gone pretty well. Lovely customer, had a vacation in Hawaii, did a ton of walking, averages normally about 6,000 to 8,000 steps. She was bumping it up to about 20,000 steps. Happened back in February. Now, this vacation, no injury at all, but after that, she started getting some acute stress and pain at the bottom deltoid ligament. So that's kind of the outside heel area. There's three main ligaments, front, back, and bottom. And it was a real acute stress right at the bottom of the outside of the ankle here. And she kind of said, maybe it's just, something small. It didn't bruise or swell up, so it wasn't like a major injury. But it kept happening. And then over the course of maybe a couple weeks, she started getting some additional heel pain, kind of right at the back end of the heel, right where the Achilles and the plantar fascia connect. Not necessarily right at the bottom, but right at the back end there. This happened probably back in March, I believe, middle end of March. So she's dealing with it. She goes sees a doctor. They start doing some PT. The PT said, hey, your foot with the orthotic kind of looks like it's tilting to the outside. Now, this customer is an A2 foot type. This is kind of the nice high, medium high arch, 4-foot valgus, large, about 10 to 15 degrees. So big toe is naturally lower than the first toe, or than the fifth toe. The heel with an A2 foot type is nice and neutral. So when she's taking a step, she's still hard and heavy on the heel, and the arch is coming down, and she's off the big toe. So her gait is nice and much more neutral and narrow versus a C10 or C14 with a little bit more openness to it, or a D11 or D15. So, well, we're looking at the foot type. Okay, what do we got going on? We have some lateral stresses. It's not going away. She's doing some PT after mobility. I think this is all mechanical. What we currently have on the orthotic is just a little EVA Met pad. We're going to take that off. We're going to go Cobra. What we want to do is provide some lateral structure. Now, when I watched her walk, it didn't look like she was over-supinating, but even a 5% increase in supination or abduction can cause some additional stresses, and it's probably pulling the heel. So what we're going to do today for this problem is we're going to add the Cobra modification as well as a little extra heel cushion. We're going to take you over to the grinder. We're going to take this off real quick. Okay, we're going to take it top down here. Now, we have the existing orthotic. She's wearing the Glycerin 22s, good shoe for her foot type. Again, A2 foot types, rigid, pounds the body a lot. The Glycerin has a nice cushion to it. It's not overly rigid, it holds the foot nicely without overdoing it from a rigidity standpoint. Accommodates. Heel height on the Glycerin 22, I think, was 6 millimeters. So what we're going to do today is we're going to play with the Cobra. I love the Cobra. It's a great modification. The Cobra is a combination of a Met bar, longitudinal arch bar, and a cuboid bar. This is one that I came up with. I like to name my modifications after what it looks like. Some are relatively inappropriate, but that's fine. So we got the Cobra. It kind of looks like a cobra, right? The Cobra is going to continue to help that forefoot. The Met pad that we had on there was something that I think is necessary. I don't remember if we had any forefoot issues when we started, but the metatarsal padding is not a bad idea because typical A-foot types are very hard on the forefoot. The weight gets distributed very unevenly on the heel and the balls of the feet. So having enough in the belly of the orthotic is an important aspect to making that modification. So material-wise, we are using a 3mm multi-cork. Multi-cork is a great closed cell cork and EVA combination we use in many of our custom orthotics core support pieces. This material is also really nice for any time we're wrapping around the edge of an orthotic. So, all right, we got the Cobra. Now, we're gonna do this in a way that, perfect. We got this lined up. Shift that over just a touch. Placement on a met pad is super important. You really don't want to go too far forward. Now when you're gluing a metatarsal pad, for anybody in the biz, you can always taper down too. So if you go too far forward, you can still taper down nicely. I think we got a good placement. We'll just want to make sure we taper this down an adequate amount. Okay. That one. Follow up there. Now I'm also going to add a little heel pad on this. Now, the heel pad's important because we want to help increase the cushioning on the heel. That's a part of what we're doing. The main thing that we're doing with the extra heel cushion is we want to add a little extra height in the back end of the orthotic here. So the idea with adding a little extra height, mechanically speaking, is we look at heel heights of shoes. Everything's going lower, 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 thicker stack, extra cushion. I hate it. What we want to do is elevate the heel just a little bit. And what that does is it takes some stress off the Achilles. So if this is Achilles related, thinking about the mechanics of all of this, we want to elevate the heel a little bit, take some stress off the back end, because a lot of this is coming not necessarily at the base, insertion point of the plantar fascia, but more in the back. So that's usually Achilles related. So we're going to bump that up in the heel. What we're going to use, one second. What we're going to use is newer material I got in the shop. It's called EcoCell High Rebound. It's kind of like what we used to get from the Poron Rogers company with the dark blue Poron. That was like a firm Poron. This stuff is really good. It's extra spongy. It's a little firmer than a traditional Poron polyurethane compound, and it's a little denser, so it's got a really good bounce to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this up so we got one modification profile. Okay. I'm going to line that up real nice. Excellent. Cool. A little template there. Perfecto. Okay. That is done. Now, we're going to copy to the other side here. This, overlay it over that. Marks, perfecto. Okay. Excellent. Now, we're going to get our glue on, and we're going to be set for this modification. So we're going to take a break in a sec. We'll come back. We'll get everything put together. There's some fine tuning on the tapering notes, how to set this up where she's not going to feel any of the edges. But get the glue on and get you guys going for today. So, okay. Glue's on that. The Cobra getting glued up. Considering potential additional options. She, again, is an A2 foot type. A2 foot types tend to be nice and neutral in the rear foot. Large valgus on the forefoot. There's no hallux varus situation. Sometimes that can happen with an A2 foot type where the big toe pokes in. It kind of looks like the forefoot ab or adducts, but it's not a hallux varus situation. It's just kind of because she has a very narrow gait. She tends to toe in a little bit, but not a hallux varus. That can happen with A2 foot types. All right. I think we're good for right now. We're going to let this sit for a minute or two, and we'll be right back, folks.
Socks.
All right, everyone. Tony Chips here. Chiappetta Shoes Workshop Live. We have an A2 foot type. We have some lateral deltoid ligament strain from February, not improving. No major swelling or bruising. Light injury over the course of a vacation. We have a custom orthotic. We're making a modification on here. We're cleaning it up a little bit, but we're adding a little bit more firmer metatarsal support, broader metatarsal support, longitudinal arch, and most importantly, a cuboid bar, helping some of that stability on the rear foot ankle area. Secondary part is we're also adding a little heel cushion, not necessarily for the padding, but to elevate the heel, offload some of the strain that is probably a compensatory pain that's happening at the back end of the heel, not necessarily on the bottom, probably a combination of a plantar fascia and Achilles strain in that area there. So, what we got going on? Take it top down. We have what I like to call the Cobra. It is a nice met bar, longitudinal arch bar, and a cuboid bar in one. 3mm multi-cork, great for wrapping because it's a closed cell foam. And we're gonna wrap around the edge. And then at the heel, we're using 3mm EcoCell by Acor, EcoCell High Rebound. Really good bouncing material. 3mm at the start, but with full weight loading, it compresses down about 50%. So we're elevating that heel height approximately 1.5 millimeters. Glycerin 22s, I want to say, are 6mm heel height. So we're going to be at 7.5 approximately, which I think will help the Achilles and the back end of the foot really nicely. And that's the game plan right there. So we got the Cobra. We're adding the Cobra. Second, heel pad. Boom, boom. All right. Now, one of my favorite doctors in the area, Dr. Engel, is a podiatrist. In a case like this, he probably would put a lateral bar, a 5th met bar. He likes loading up here. That's also on the table. We have a couple extra tactics that we could do when it comes to alleviating this lateral strain and the heel strain. But I think this is going to be a really good solution. I told this customer she's going to wait approximately a week, see how it goes, continue with the PT, do all that fun stuff. And there's a few extra things we can do. My next step would most likely be adding a little extra, another layer on the cuboid bar and thickening that up a little bit. You could always go more down the lateral column itself. Okay. And we got that. Excellent. Okay, take it to the grinder. We are almost done, guys. All right. Last step we got, we're going to do a quick little cleanup with some acetone and get this lovely customer going on her day. We've got I think it's been a while since I've seen these, so they do look a little beat up, but quick little refurb on the top EVA is always a nice way to refresh that cushiony foam feeling. And the nice thing about EVAs is a top cover versus all that crap that podiatrists and orthotic manufacturers like to use with that fabric stuff. You can't heat it up like this. It doesn't rebound. They'll use neoprene or open cell foams with a fabric liner to it, and that's no bueno. No bueno. See how that kind of darkens up and you don't see those toes anymore? That's the beauty of EVA. You can wear it barefoot. It doesn't get smelly. Dead skin can sit on there, but you can always clean it off really easily. All right, so A2 foot type. We have ankle strain, been a long time, just trying to get over it, doing PT, didn't have a modification. I think it's all mechanical. I think this should do a good job. We have the Cobra, 3mm multi-cork, a little extra support, keeping that foot from tilting to the outside too much. We have a little extra heel cushion, elevate the heel and relieve some of that Achilles strain. All right side, left side's been happy, but we want to keep both comfy and moving. Glycerin 22, Brooks is awesome. Good shoe for her foot. That's a wrap for today. If your feet hurt, make sure to check us out, ChiappettaShoes.com. Ain't no better than Chiappetta. Ciao.